Alright, so this video is going to be for people who have BMWs. I've had several questions about a specific vehicle from BMW, which is a 2020 M340i. And this basically pertains to the starter. So I did post a video. It was like one of those quick little videos on my channel about the starter. And so basically the situation is I had leased my vehicle in the beginning, and then I was having issues with the starter. And you would notice every time you would get in the video, you would notice every time you would get in the car and you'll start the car, you'll hear it kind of trying to crank, struggling to crank. And as time goes on, you do feel and hear the car, the struggling's getting a little worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, I don't know if that is caused by the auto stop and go, which, the 2020 BMW I had, had that issue, or it had that feature, the auto stop and go. So I'm not too sure if that is why, it causes maybe a little too strain on the starter, or if maybe those starters were defective. But I've noticed that there are a couple of other people out there who've been messaging me through YouTube about basically their situation, what's going on. So now I'm gonna explain my experience and what I did, and then maybe it'll help you guys. So as I noticed the starter going off and on, and it was struggling, it was getting worse and worse and worse, and there was times where you would hear it like crank, but then it wouldn't go anywhere, and then it'll crank and then start. Now, one thing I did do was I did turn off my auto stopping, the stop and go button. And usually for that, it's right next to the little gear shifter. It just shows like an A, and it says off on it, and it shows like a little rotation. So I turned that off, so maybe it would help the starter a little bit. But at the end of the day, I mean, the starter is just going to go out anyways. So it kind of helped a little bit, but the starter just went out. So I did contact my dealership at the time, and I did explain to them the situation. My vehicle was under warranty, so it was within that 3 years that I had the vehicle. So I contacted the dealership. They looked at it and they said they didn't notice anything. All right. So I don't know if they just didn't hear it or see it, but for the most part, there was something wrong with it. And I don't know if the dealership needed basically the part to completely fail before they can repair it. So I'm not too sure. So anyways, they said that there was nothing wrong with it. I ended up going to, my daily commutes. And then one day I get in my car, turn it on, nothing, dead, doesn't start. And that's when I knew the starter just completely went out. At first I did think it was a battery, but as I understood it more, it ended up being my starter, because you would just kind of hear it trying to crank. So what I ended up doing was I called, there's a number, I guess, with BMWs, there's like a roadside assistance number that you can call. And a tow truck came in, picked up my vehicle, and took it to the dealer. So I ended up going that route. I got a rental because, I wanted them to completely check the vehicle, make sure everything was okay. And then soon after, ended up being the starter. Now, one thing the tow truck guy had told me, as well as the dealership, is you never want to try to jumpstart your BMW, because there's so many electronics in the car that you could damage the vehicle. And as it is, I didn't want to damage anything else on these cars because they are expensive. So something to the vehicle where they wouldn't repair it and it wouldn't be under warranty, which I know it may have happened to some people. I don't know about that, but I just, you know, I didn't want to play with it. I didn't want to touch it. Take it to the dealership, let them figure it out. So that's what I did, and it was the starter. Now, as price-wise, I didn't have to pay anything because my vehicle was under warranty. However, I'm not sure if it is expensive to replace that part, so that I'm not too sure. There was one guy who did message and who messaged me on YouTube, and so basically this video is for you, just to give you a better idea and maybe to help you out. So I think from your situation, it was that you have a 2020 BMW, you had the same issues as what I had, and your vehicle is not under warranty. So what this is for me, this is what I would do. I would probably take it to one of those like BMW like shops. Your vehicle is out of warranty anyways, so it's not as if like, somebody else can't work on it. So I would just probably first see how much it's going to cost, and then figure out from there if you want to take it to one of those like shops or if you want to take it to the dealership. Now, if you do take it to the dealership, everything is negotiable at the dealership. Everything. Even on my vehicle, I still negotiate like tires, I still negotiate the brakes, the rotors, I still negotiate all that. So everything in the dealership is negotiable. Now, if they're gonna give you a good price, sometimes they're gonna fight you. But if you want, your vehicle basically worked by a authorized, personnel, then I would say just take it to a dealership. But first, see how much it's going to cost. See how much it's going to cost for the repair, and then just kind of compare. And then, if the shop is willing to do it for, let's just say, this is just a random number. I don't know how much it costs to get it repaired, but let's just say like $300 to do the repair. I would probably just go to the dealership and be like, hey, like this shop said that, they're willing to do it for, $220 or $250, kind of like negotiate the price. And then hopefully the service advisor would be able to help you out, and if you tell the service advisor, hey, I'll only come to you, that might help a little bit, because not too sure how it works for them, but I do know that if you stick to one service advisor, they like that, especially the service centers. They want you to go to their service center, and on top of it, they want you to go to one service advisor. So I would say go that route, but just see how much it's going to cost first. Hopefully it's not too expensive. Like I said, these vehicles are on the expensive side, but for the most part, it's kind of something important, because you don't want to get stranded and not have roadside assistance, AAA. I don't know if you have AAA in your area, or you're gonna need some kind of tow service. Not only that, you're gonna have to find a shop that is open. So if it happens at night, like I don't know, like 11, 12 o'clock, well, there's not really any shops open that I'm aware of in my area. Like they completely close like around 8, I guess. So if it happens at night during non-business hours, then where are you gonna take your vehicle? So I think it's important to be a little proactive with it, and start searching for numbers and get it fixed as soon as possible, because you don't want to get stranded. You don't want to, you don't want to get stranded like some random area or somewhere really far away or anything like that. So just got to be a little proactive with it. But yeah, so see how much it's going to cost, and then negotiate, the price. see, you know, who's going to give you better value. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of what else that, you know, I faced. I think that's about it for the starter. Hopefully it's an easy, quick repair. I don't know how long it took for me, just because I had a rental and there was like other little issues that I had on the car that needed to be adjusted. So not too sure on how long the process is. I hope it's just, I know in some vehicles it's like really weird areas. So hopefully it's just somewhere easy where they can just a couple of screws, take it out, put a new one, screw it back, and then you're done. So you know, hopefully it's easy as that. Hopefully this video worked out for you and for anybody else who may be dealing in the same issue. Like I said, I had several people who reached out to me and they were asking questions about it. So this video is a little more in-depth video about it. So just from my experience and what I faced. So anyways, hope you guys take care.